on a broad economic deal that includes American access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals amid its 3-year war with Russia. NBC's Molly Hunter reports from London.
That's right. So according to reporting from the Financial Times, the U.S. and Ukraine have already agreed to sign this minerals deal. We did just hear from the Ukrainian Prime Minister, who has laid out a couple key points to help us understand this deal. So he says Ukraine's government will today authorize the agreement for signing. Doesn't say necessarily they're completely agreed on every final detail, but says the government will authorize it. He says the U.S. has prepared a final version of the minerals agreement, which envisions the creation of a joint investment fund. And this is the key point. He says agreement is directly connected to security guarantees for Ukraine. This is the single #1 priority for President Zelensky, for the government, and this is why Ukraine would agree to a deal like this. Now, this all could be wrapped up by the end of the week, according to one U.S. official who is engaged in these negotiations, who said that President Zelensky is coming to D.C. this week, and it could all be signed by Friday. As far as Russia reacts, no new Kremlin reaction this morning. On Monday, President Putin told state media that they could also offer access to mineral reserves, including in parts of Russian-occupied Ukraine. Now, Putin said Russia has an order of magnitude more resources of this kind than Ukraine, talking about Russia's reserves in the north and the Far East, as well as in the Russian-occupied Donbass region. European peacekeepers is also on the table, certainly being talked about a lot on this side of the Atlantic. On Monday, President Trump asserted that the war could end within weeks, and that President Putin would agree to having European boots on the ground at negotiations in Riyadh, though. Russia's foreign minister said it was pretty unacceptable and called European peacekeeping forces on the ground a direct threat. The Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, added that they were monitoring these reports with concern, so we will certainly stay on that piece of this agreement, which is sure to be part of this minerals deal. We'll watch it closely. Molly Hunter, NBC News, London.
Today marks the 32nd anniversary of the first terrorist attack on New York's World Trade Center. In 1993, a 1,200-pound bomb went off in the parking garage of the North Tower. That bomb was packed inside a rented truck. It killed 6 people and injured more than 1,000 others. The blast sent thousands escaping the complex in Lower Manhattan. The bomber was captured, convicted, and sentenced to prison a year later. To San Diego County now, where police have an arrest warrant for a woman accused of stabbing her wife to death and believed to have left to Mexico. Officials are looking for Yolanda Murati. She's accused of stabbing her wife, Rebecca Murati, last week in Ramona. Rebecca was a captain for Cal Fire. The warrant says Captain Murati's mother called 911. Deputies found Rebecca with multiple stab wounds. She died there at the scene. The mother told detectives that a week before the murder, Rebecca told her wife she was leaving her and ending their marriage. They also found surveillance video from the patio of the home where Rebecca was seen running away from her wife and begging for her life. Yolanda is also seen holding a knife with blood on her arm. Yolanda's car was seen crossing the border into Mexico later that same night.
She's kind of a sitting duck for law enforcement. Her picture will be widely distributed. She's not a citizen or resident of Mexico. So unless she has a lot of resources, which it takes a lot of resources to go on the lam, it's just a matter of time, I believe, before she's arrested.
And it's not the first time Yolanda's been in trouble with the law. Yolanda Murati served 13 years in prison for manslaughter and drug possession after stabbing her husband to death back in 2000. Murati will likely be brought to the U.S. if she is found in Mexico.